Hey, this is Mr. Aiden. This is the 2022 AP Calculus AB free response question number 5. And this was from the 2022 AP Calculus exam on Monday, May 9th. And let's get to this question. Check out my website at mraiden.com. Check out my YouTube channel for more calculus videos as well as some other things. You can see this is the dreaded differential problem. My students did pretty well with this problem because they like differentials. We go through them a lot. You can see we're starting off with a slope field. We want to sketch the solution curve right here at 1, 2, and you do the best you can at better than I am doing right now at sketching this solution curve of this sine function right here. And you just make it as smooth as you can, more smooth than I did. You can see on B, we're writing an equation for the line tangent to the curve. And so what is the line tangent to the curve? Is the derivative at this point 1, 2. So we are plugging in dy over dx. We're plugging in 1/2 sine of pi over 2 times x, which is 1. The square root of 2 plus 7. And let's see what we have. Sine of pi over 2 is equal to 1. This is equal to 1. So we have 1/2 times 1 times the square root of 9, which is 3. So we have 1/2 times 1 times 3, which ends up being 3/2. The slope is 3/2. So we want to write an equation. So we're going to write our equation y minus 2 equals the slope 3/2 x minus 1. And that uses each one of those to get my equation. Now we're going to use that equation in order to approximate at f of 0.8. So f of 0.8, we're going to do f of 1 plus f prime of 1 times, what is the approximation is 0.8, so the delta x we're going is negative 0.2. We're going to approximate below that value of negative 0.2. And so we know what f of 1 is. F of 1 is equal to 2. They gave us that value. F prime of 1 we know is 3/2. And negative 0.2 is negative 2/10 or negative 1/5. You can see why I called that negative 2/10. The 2's cancel out, and you're left with 2 plus negative 3/10 or 2 plus negative 0.3, which is 1.7, which is our approximation using this value. Okay. Now the next thing they asked was, we know that f prime prime of x is greater than 0. What does that mean? That means this is concave up. And remember, what was f prime of x? That was greater than 0, which means it's increasing. I always like to draw a little function here of concave up and increasing, so we know it's going like this. And you can see here is f of 1, and we were using our tangent line approximation to figure out this value at 0.8 right here. And you can see the true value of 0.8 and this approximation of 0.8. This approximation is an underestimate. It's an underestimate because of these two things. Give a reason. You can see our reasoning utilizes our concavity, our increasing, and this helps us to find out the underestimate. Now the problem of all problems is the separation of variables to find the particular solution of the diff EQ. So this is the one you've all come to this exam, this video, to figure out whether you got the correct answer or not. So we got to first separate our variables. Without separation of variables, you're going to get no points, okay? So we're going to separate our variables. We're going to get 1 over the square root of y plus 7 dy on one side. We have 1/2 sine of pi over 2x dx on the other. Now, I like to change this to y plus 7 to the negative 1/2 power. It's going to be a whole lot easier to integrate. 1/2 sine of pi over 2x dx. And what do you know? We have separated our variables, and we are primed and ready to integrate both sides. Okay, so let's integrate the left side first. The left side, we're going to use kind of the power rule here. That's going to go from negative 1/2 up to positive 1/2. So we have y plus 7, and that goes to positive 1/2, or just a square root. And we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2 right there. Watch out for the chain rule. The derivative of y is 1, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's come to the right-hand side. So we're going to get our point for this left-hand side. Let's go to our right-hand side. What's the integral of sine? Is negative cosine. So I get negative 1/2 cosine of pi over 2x dx. Watch out for the opposite chain rule. We're going to have to take the derivative of this pi over 2x. We're going to have to take the reciprocal of that, which means 2 over pi plus c right here. Okay, so what do we have? We have 2y plus 7, and actually, what am I going to do? I'm going to change this to the square root. The square root of y plus 7. I'm going to clean it back up a little bit. Okay, and over here, I'm going to clean up this guy right here. So negative 1 over pi cosine of pi over 2x plus c. Now, I know a lot of people like to solve for it. A lot of teachers like to solve for it. I tell my students at this point, I like to plug in my initial condition to find my c value. So I'm going to plug in y number 1 for my x, and I'm going to plug in 2 for my y here. So we have cosine of pi over 2. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0. So all of this junk is equal to 0, okay, which is really nice. 0 plus c is equal to 2 plus 7 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6, which means in this case, c is equal to 6. c is equal to 6. So let's come back. We're going to come back. We're going to bring this equation back up here, okay? But we're going to do it this way. We have 2, the square root of y plus 7, equals negative 1 over pi cosine of pi over 2x plus 6. Okay, so now we just got algebra. We got to roll up our sleeves and just do a little bit of algebra. So we're going to divide everything by 2. I'm going to go walk us through step by step. So we get square root of y plus 7. We're going to divide by 2, negative 1 over 2 pi cosine of pi over 2x plus 3. Okay, now some people solved or did the solution, then found what c was at the end, and they got c was equal to 3. You can see you can do it either way. You're going to get the same answer. Now we got to square everything. So we got y plus 7 equals negative 1 over 2 pi cosine of pi over 2 x plus 3, all of that being squared. And now we're going to subtract 7. Okay, and so I'm going to erase this right here. I'm just going to do kind of 2 steps right there. And that is my solution to my diffie-q. I always want to double check with this solution. Does my initial condition work? So let's plug in 1. So if we plug in 1 right here, we get cosine of pi over 2, which is 0. So all that's 0. So we get 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 7 is 2. And what do you know? This is the correct value for the correct particular solution for my diffie-q. Hope that helped. That was question number 5 for 2022 AP Calculus exam. Keep watching my videos. Keep going to my websites. Take care.